So naturally, there's a lot of tafsir that isn't in book form. I mentioned digital apps and so on, but when it comes to English tafsir, for the most part, you're going to find tafsir of Ibn Kathir and translations of the Quran. What about not in written form? What about videos, audio and video? Now, naturally, there's a lot of different institutes and individuals who are working on that. I'm going to speak about one that I work with, so you know that I'm biased, but at the same time, there's a reason that I gravitated towards Bayina Institute and I gravitated towards the work of Ustad Nu'man Ali Khan, because as a person working in the field of tafsir and completing my own degree in that field, I could see that he was really the leader in this effort to bring people to a Quran-centered approach. At the same time, a balanced one that's not a sort of extremely Quran-centered to the extent of marginalizing other parts of the deen or other sources of Islamic knowledge, especially the Sunnah, right? So I saw in his approach a very practical one which is very centered on helping people to connect to their deen, to their religion, and to improve themselves. So I saw a lot of value in being part of his work. So since 2016, I've worked with him to grow his work in terms of informing his commentary, especially with what our tafsir tradition has to say. So a lot of my job really is, as we're studying particular ayat, most recently we've been going through Surah Yusuf. A large part of what I do is say, this is what the Mufassirin are saying, let's discuss that, let's benefit from it, and let's also try to build on that, and let's see where it takes us, right? So Ustad Nu'man has a very creative mind, which is something that I really admire in him. At the same time, we need to sort of tie it to, we need to sort of sometimes restrain things to say, well, it needs to sort of fall in line with traditional understanding. It needs to be complementary to it rather than clash with it. So if a particular word looks like it could mean something, but none of the Mufassirin ever said it meant that, there's probably a good reason why they never said that it meant that. And maybe we'll realize what that reason is. But this is work which is growing. We have done video commentaries now. I have done with him. We completed Al-Baqarah. We've completed Ali Imran. We've completed Surah Yusuf almost, which has been a fantastic growth experience for both him and me. We have completed Juz Amma as well. And I'm not talking here about the old school Juz Amma that he did the podcast back in the day, but I'm talking about a couple of years ago, we've done the Deeper Look series. If you are subscribed to Bayna TV, you would find these things under the Quran, a Deeper Look. So this is work which reaches people in a different way because we are going beyond the idea that people are reading books. Let's be honest here and say that many people are not reading books, or not many people are reading books. And even if they are reading books, with just lifestyle is very busy now, we need to think about other ways of doing things. And you guys know this well. My hosts here in Learn Quran app, you understand the importance of digital engagement, reaching people where they are, finding ways to give people the tools to help themselves on the go, right? And where they might be sort of isolated from having direct teachers and so on. So that's something that we work on. At the same time, I do want to bring some of that background to the traditional approach of having books. So Al-Baqarah, Ali Imran, I really want that to become 1 or 2 books. Surah Yusuf, I feel like maybe is where we should start. So we're already working to transcribe the lectures, but beyond transcribing it, we are working on a new translation of the Quran, and we're working Surah Yusuf just now, a new translation. Again, that translation, because I'm working on translation, he and I are working together on it. And we also have a group of students who are observers and, chipping in their ideas and observations as well. Because we're doing it, then I'm very, very conscious of the fact that translation is tafsir. In order to do this translation, we have to take a position on what we understand the ayah to mean. Right? And we are reading the tafsirs thoroughly. We've already been reading them. We've been debating them. We've been presenting on them. And then after all that, we say, okay, now how do we translate this ayah? Right? You might think it works the other way around, but this is how it works. We've done a lot of work on the ayah before we say, okay, after all that, how are we going to translate it in a way that we can feel comfortable with this written form, rather than just the spoken form where you can throw in lots of synonyms and you can mix it up and you can be non-committal about what you say it means. It's this or it's that. In writing, you've sort of got to decide what to put down as your main text, and then you could have something else in the footnotes if you want. But yes, multimedia is a field that should continue to grow, and I hope that we can all be part of that in whatever way that we are, and we can work together on that.